Bienvenidos and welcome back to Puro Pinche Gol, the place where we discuss all things USMNT, la selección mexicana. My name is Adrian. I'm joined once again by my co-host and Tocayo Adrian. Adrian, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's so good? Nice to be here, ready to talk eltri and the winter moves.
Let's do it, man. There's been we've been starved for eltri news the past couple of weeks, so it's been kind of
Yes,
slow on
man.
the three front. But now we've got a lot of things to talk about today that happened with eltri.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, during this episode, we'll be reviewing the January transfer window for eltri players. There's been quite a few key talking points and moves that we want to focus on, so we'll be definitely focusing on that. Let's jump right into it, starting with the transfers, man. So the first transfer we want to kind of focus on is Diego Lainez to Tigres. Man, fill us in, man. What do you rate this as a Tigres fan and as a Mexico fan?
Diego El Factor Lainez is finally at Tigres. It's not an easy one for me, man. I'm here risking my credibility. Once again, I'm gonna look like a freaking clown. um, but look, from a L3 perspective, I think this is a C minus, big time C minus, and I think I'm being generous if I'm talking about this with all honesty. And
Mhm.
as a Tigres fan, this is a B plus. Sorry, not B plus, B minus, B minus. Um, and let me tell you why. Let me walk you through this. As an L3 follower, right? This is the pinnacle of PPG's ideology, right? It's we want young Mexican players to be out there to go to decent teams where they can have some game time and they can have a solid basis to move into a bigger team and continue their career in Europe. But this is also the classical example of a young Mexican player who forces a move to a team that is not necessarily the best for his game style
Right.
and goes out there asking for a higher than usual salary. Things go wrong. No one wants him in Europe because he's very expensive. And long story short, we see him again in ligamx or MLS. And this is the if there's like a how to go to Europe, be a failure, and come back to ligamx 101, this is the book, right? This is the freaking masterclass on it. So it's I hate the solution of Liga MX just saying, véngase para acá, acá hay dinero. I, it freaking it pisses me off, dude. But on the other side, as a Tigres fan, I think this is a great move. B minus just because I don't know how much game time he's gonna get.
Right.
B minus because he's a young Mexican player, and we all know the Liga MX sides yearn for young Mexican talent as they need it to meet the Liga's requirement of Mexican players on the field. Um, fortunately, he's going to Tigres where it's a very competitive team. So if anything, if he puts in the work and he's out there performing, he should be starting rather frequently. Thankfully, Tigres is a it's a it's a competitive team. It's a good competitor in the Liga MX. So hopefully he gets the cameras and the reflectors on his face and he gets to play with la selección with the new coach whoever he is. And he's only 22. If he makes, he has a good display. I think part of his loan because he went to Tigres on a loan. And just to give you an example, how much money he's gonna be making 2 million pesos per month, if I'm not mistaken. He's actually the best paid Mexican player in Liga MX. But
Right.
um, and I think part of his contract or whatever is that if he has a European offer, they will let him go, no strings attached. So yeah, I think after this I'm gonna go to Party City and get me some clown makeup.
You got your little clown nose.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man. These
What do you think, man?
these dudes are making us look bad, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's literally the personification of the episode we had a couple weeks ago. We discussed all things wrong with Liga MX. They're
Mhm.
hyped up from the initial get go because of a season or two, in a decent team in Liga MX. They're overvalued. They price out most European teams. So if there is a European team that ends up wanting them, it's usually not a good fit, or it's a team that he's not going to see many minutes at, which we saw at Betis. It wasn't really a good fit. Then they come back a year or two later. super overvalued. Nobody else wants them in Europe because they're so, like you said, they're so overvalued, and only the big teams in Mexico can pay for them, and or MLS, and they come back and just kind of settle and say, "Shit, I went to Europe. I did it. I have the prestige of
Mhm.
playing in Europe." Um,
Checked off.
yeah. So I mean, like you said, he's 22. Hopefully. That's not his end of his career in Europe. He still has that loan option. Maybe he's just using this to kind of kickstart his career again. And Tigres
That's
is
what a lot of
always
people are saying.
Tigres is always a competitor, so maybe try to get more trophies in his cabinet. We saw him win the Copa del Rey Betis, which was the first time they won in like 100 years. So you know
Mhm.
it wasn't a complete failure at Betis. He had his moments, but you know there was less so good ones than bad ones. He didn't really play much, and then he went to was it Braga where he didn't play much either. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, from an L3 perspective, I'm there with you, a C minus. You know, we always want our young players out there playing and playing in Europe, and um, for 22-year-old to kind of give up and come back, it's kind of you know, that's a C minus, not something we want to see.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, there's a lot of things that he needs to change. One of them is being he's a very selfish player. So if he really wants to make another, if he really wants to have another shot in Europe, he needs to change that specific aspect of his game style. He needs to be more of a well, not a playmaker, but he needs to rely on his teammates more.
yeah,
And he needs to break out from that. He's just a a sub player, a revulsivo. He needs to make sure that he has the athleticism and the right make the right choices when on the field, so he becomes a regular starting 11 90 minutes kind of player and not 45 to 30 minutes player.
yeah, because we see him. His game style is he'll take it down the wing. He'll use his space that he has. He's really fast, and he'll you know
Hmm.
he's got trickery to him when it works. And instead of if he finds a 1-2 with somebody, instead of playing that 1-2, he'll try to take on the defender. And more often than not, he'll
Exactly.
lose it. So, like you said, he is a selfish player, and hopefully he grows out of that. But as a Tigres fan, I kind of rate this as a B minus C plus, just because, like you said, I don't see where he'll start. Right now, you know, Tigres is playing as we speak. As the time of this recording, they're undefeated in 4 games. ligamx, it's 2 draws, 2 wins,
And they are
and
stacked, dude.
they're stacked. Where does he go in? I don't know. Maybe the long term goal for them is to replace Aquino or somebody on the wing. But at this time, you know, he'll probably start in a week or two just because he's the marquee signing for the January transfer window. But if he doesn't
Mhm.
perform 2 or 3 games, man, he'll be right in the bench.
Oh
We
yeah,
saw it with
you're gonna
Florian. We see it
yeah,
constantly,
you're gonna hear the boost coming from the stands.
right? So, yeah,
Hmm.
overall, man, I think we're both in agreement. This was kind of a, you know, as a Mexico fans, shitty move. Tigres fans, I mean, it has potential, but really kind of we'll have to see how it pans
Yeah.
out. So the next move, we're probably not going to focus too much on it because we had a whole episode kind of talking about this, but it was Cesar Montes de
Yeah.
Español. I think we're all in agreement. This is just like Mihailovic, A plus plus move, the perfect move for
Yes.
him, going to a team that's, you know, in a league technically similar to Liga MX, the way they play out there in that league. And you know, he's a week in, week out starter since the get go, since he moved out there for a
Hmm.
middle of the pack team that, you know, with a few more transfer windows, they might be competing for Europa League. So it's a good team.
Yeah.
Definitely got his foot in the door in Europe, and you know he's playing really well. So I mean, you know, if in a season or two, we might see him be making a move to a bigger team
This
for
is
sure.
probably the best thing that could have happened to him, and just because they really wanted him. So
Right.
it's no brainer. A plus plus. Let's go Montes.
Yeah, it wasn't like a marketing signing or anything. They were chasing him for a while now,
Mhm.
and you know when you want somebody that much, he's going to play for you. You know, starting.
Exactly.
So great move for him. Um, there was a couple
Next
others.
one.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list here. That's funny. That we have this guy on the list, Guillermo Ochoa.
I know.
um,
Come on.
I mean, what is there to say about that, man?
This is just a credit pass kind of score. Nothing
Yeah,
much to say. Potato, potato, man. Um, if there's anything that we have to say about this is he's I guess su cuota de goles va a incrementar, lo van a golear mucho más de
yeah.
lo, de lo que ya lo hacían en la Liga MX. I mean, one of the recent games he lost what 7-0, 7-1.
I think it was like
It's
8-1 or something. Yeah.
I mean he just cannot catch a break, man. It's like Ajaccio all over again.
Or Depor, yeah. Or was he at that point? No, it was yeah, Ajax. Yeah. Um,
Alexio.
oh man, poor guy. But hey, man, fuck it, he's in Europe.
RIP. Yeah.
Um, and I hate to end it like this because you know there was pretty positive moves out there, but we got to talk about January transfer window in general, and one of the two of the moves were like Diego Lainez in addition coming back to ligamx.
Yeah.
Santiago Munoz, Santi from Goal, the movie, a movie, a move, a move we were preaching and praising
Excited. Yeah.
so many years
Hmm.
ago when, well, not so many, probably 2 years ago when this happened. Just like the movie, he went to Newcastle United and
Hmm.
never got playing time. Then Newcastle United got bought by new rich owners, and now they're revamping the third in the league. They're just going to be the new Manchester City probably. And
Most
back to
likely.
back to Santos Laguna. I mean, he's coming back
Hmm.
to Liga MX without ever making an appearance for Newcastle. You know, I think on a pass fail, this is a fail.
I agree. Yeah. He's young. Let's see if he can make a dent in Liga MX and go back to Europe.
Yep. So hopefully he'll just get playing time back in Santos and yeah,
Hmm.
hopefully revive his career there. And Omar Govea back to Monterrey. He, like you said, he didn't really
Hmm.
play in Monterrey. He kind of was a young guy that went straight to Europe. So again, let's see if he gets playing time. And this is kind of another fail, but eh, might be able to revitalize his career.
Hopefully, man. Fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
still young. All right, Adrian. Well, that's kind of the quick summary of the kind of 3 or 4 or 5 main Mexican national moves that we saw over this January 2023 transfer
Yeah.
window. Before we leave, man, where can our listeners find us?
Well, if they'd like to see our pretty faces, they can find us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications. If you're only okay with listening to our beautiful voices, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any other podcast service you are a subscriber on. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Puro Pinche Gol. We're posting some wild stuff out there, dude.
Some wild stuff and some fire memes, man. Yeah, be sure to follow us. Well, Adrian, it was a fun like always, man. We'll see you in the next one, brother.
Take it easy, man.
See you, man.